All right,
20 stories.
let's do it.
Whoa, everybody. It's Awestruck Comics Podcast. We're doing it again. We're post second weekend. Cons just over and over. New York last week, Baltimore this week. Both pretty successful. Yesterday, I think a little more successful for me. Conan Quotient is happening. I
Yeah, you
got
got a good amount
eight
of books.
I got 87 things, and the Conan quotient of the 87, or no, I got 84 things and 58. So what percentage that's, Rob? What percentage is that?
I don't know, probably around 70%.
69. Hey, 69. You get it? You got
Get
it?
it? Got it. Good.
Yep. So we're gonna jump right into the news. Ultra Comics Podcast. We got plugs. We'll do plugs at the end. Plugs at the end of Socratic Pulp and on the Instagram and Rob Messick slash what's the other one? Supreme Supremacy. Supreme
Maximum Supreme.
X on the X, the Twitter X. Twix. Twix? No? Okay. Let's
I'm not giving it to you.
see. Give it to me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. I don't know if you know that. It's like rap. It's
I
rap,
do.
buddy.
Is that
All
rap?
right. We've already talked about this. I disagree with this. So this is the Rob Liefeld goes full manga mode with black and white blood red editions for Youngblood. And it's listed as Youngblood number one, comma, cover M. Why is this wrong, Rob? Why?
It's a bad move because it should be a whole separate listing. It shouldn't just be it's not a variant, it's a whole variant comic. It's a very different comic. I already have it. I have the direct to consumer edition, and
Exclusive direct
it's a
to
good book.
consumer whatnot.
You read Youngblood number one, it's great. But like it's not just like a black and white with some red splotched on it. That's what it makes it feel like. No, the whole thing's in different tones and shadings. Like they got Seth DeMuth, who's a really good up and coming artist. He's drawing the Bedrock series for Rob. He went in and did all this, so it looks like a good manga comic. And now people online are like, "Oh, it's not a real manga comic." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a comic. It's like manga version of an American comic." Also, you're probably not reading it in Japanese, so you're not really reading a manga comic anyway. So, like, shut the hell up. Like,
Yeah.
this is cool. You know, if you can't read Japanese, you're not really reading a real manga. So don't give me that crap. Oh, it's not digest size. Oh, it's not in Shonen Jump. Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
They're not reading it backwards compared to what Americans read. You know, it's like okay, and who cares? It's something different. It's cool. You know, some people like to say it's closer to like a black, white, and red.
Yeah.
I disagree a little bit just because it's so different from that because we're already getting a color version. We're not getting color version of those black, white, and red comics, and sometimes we should.
Well, I think some of them. I feel like all the black, white, and black, red, and blood, blue, gold. Like I think that they've abused it. They're doing it wrong. You know,
Yes.
like this is doing it. This is actually doing it even different than that because usually they'll do when it first started, which was I think Matt Wagner did it, right? I think he was the first one to do it, and then everyone just kind
I
of
feel
adopted
like
it.
I think DC's might have the first Batman might have come out first. The
I don't
first
know.
Batman black and white.
Fact check it.
All right. Here's what it is.
Fact
I
check it.
think DC's black and white Batman came out first, but Wagner was the first to do black, white, and red
Right, to do an extra color. Okay.
to do the extra color. I mean, Frank Miller had been playing around with it. Like he put in a speckle of blue or red in a Sin City story for
Yeah.
impact, like the pink coat in Schindler's List.
Right.
You know,
Ripped off from Frank Miller. I don't know if that's true. I don't even know the dates of that. So, but yes.
yeah, it was 30 years ago. It's okay if we don't remember exactly the dates.
Yeah.
But this is like this isn't just like a black and white version of the comic. The whole thing's been
What's up, buddy?
scaled and gray toned, and it almost reads differently. And some of the impact with the more blood, I like it.
Yeah,
I think a
I think
lot.
it's cool. It's like because it's like I think that it's it's an extra person. Well, it throws back to the 80s with a lot of the screens, right? So now we can do digital screens. That's pretty cool. Um, and then on top of this, this is Seth Moose deciding where blood's going to happen, and that's cool. That's neat. Whereas I feel like the one I got yesterday, which I think is kind of funny too. Like I feel like I should make a show called "Everything's a Dollar" because everything is a dollar for me or less. I got a Deadpool comic yesterday. I probably can't find it right now. I cut all this out. No, no, no. So I got a Deadpool black, white, and blood, right?
Right.
And I got the variant, the Danny Warren Johnson variant cover. All right. So, but here he's doing a good job keeping it, and then like he's keeping it in every it's contained, right? So that's what you're saying. You're saying like basically it's a contained inside of it. This is a flourish. We think it should be a different listing because we kind of go back to I go back to saying the Death of Superman is the best-selling comic book because it was two versions, but it was two, well, it was the same printing, right? And that was one cover, and then you had a poly bag, but it was still the same copy. Okay, X-Men. Then they say, well, X-Men was no because they count the deluxe, which is not correct. That's extra
No,
pages.
extra pages, totally different
It's not the same
colors
comic.
on some on. Yeah, it's a different color cover. I mean, it takes the four covers, puts them together, but it's different colors. It
Yeah,
was colored differently, so it's not. And even individually, you still had a different cover on each one.
you could do the five covers. Is it five covers for that?
Four,
Right?
four,
Four covers.
four, and then the fold out.
Okay. So yeah, so it that should just be the five. That's it. So like this to me is like kind of goes in the print run problem. That's
I
because I
mean,
also don't really know on like now like so now the print
then
runs are well that now the print
technically,
runs are not around. Like they don't tell us what the print runs are anymore.
no,
It's over.
no. Well,
Only
technically,
when it's convenient for a press release.
only when it's 400,000 or greater do they go, oh, 400,000. Um, but no, actually, if you go by those standards, then X Force would be the highest selling comic because all that had was a different card.
Right, right, right.
That's the same comic all the way through, same cover, same inside, say everything's the same, just a different card.
Yeah, that's my Superman 75. Like that's I feel Superman 75 is that. So that's why I don't count X-Men 1. I don't count their numbers. So
No, it's not.
those
It's a fun argument.
I love it. We're arguing right now. We're not mad at each other though. We're not mad.
No,
Anyway, it looks cool, but it should be a separate listing in my opinion. In our
separate listing.
opinion, speaking of orders, how is this getting 100,000? Actually, we don't really know. I don't remember what the Aaron relaunch was because there was like an alpha book sort of, right? And then one shots and then the series. I
Yes,
don't really remember how
it's
it
a
all
blur.
happened.
It's a blur,
Everything's a blur. But
but
I
it's a
do
good
find
blur.
this really strange, and I guess what I dislike about, this, I mean, look, I want I want a Turtles comic to make money, okay? But I just would happen to be super enjoying the Aaron run, and I don't know what
Yeah,
happened to it. They're just like, we're not doing it anymore. Aaron's off the book. Juan
it's like
Frey is off the book, and I'm like,
I gotta do
why?
Thundar.
No,
I, you
that's
know,
not. He can do Thundar. He can do, like Aaron's versatile enough where he always has a bunch of things, right? He has that one book, the Falling in Love at the End of the World, whatever that book's happening or whatever that's called.
I don't think is it that title or is that a different book?
Nah, it's a different title, but like it's like that. It's a long
It's
title.
similar. It's a
Yeah,
sentence.
it's a sentence. When a couple years ago everything was a long title after something's killing the children, like everything's a sentence. Nice,
Yeah.
but it's all James Tinian disease. Um, So I want that, but yeah, to me, Aaron can kind of do a bunch of stuff. Aaron wrote for Titan this year for Conan. Like there's a lot of stuff out there. So I don't know if they couldn't afford him or he had other commitments. I'm not really sure because he doesn't have a main gig right now, right? I don't think so.
Absolute Superman.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I just think that I just would have really liked his Turtles run to go longer than 12 issues. And
Yes.
it's like they're throwing when I look at this, I look at Donnie especially. Uh, I can't really tell. I guess he's gonna have to get like back to normal a bit. But I liked emaciated like crazy Donatello.
Yeah.
And then you were mad at this because you think that Freddie Williams is being pulled off of He-Man,
Yeah. There's been
which
nothing said about it.
right. I don't think that was an ongoing. I feel like all they do ever Dark Horse is just do minis.
I feel like they announced
So
it as an ongoing, but I wonder if they secretly made it into a miniseries. I don't know what the sales are. I don't
everything
know.
should just come out and then they'll figure it out later. But yeah, not a relaunch, but okay. We'll see. We'll
Maybe
see.
Juan Ferrero. I was surprised they didn't like try to keep either or. Like, all right, Jason Aaron's off. Well, maybe hold on to Juan Ferrero because this is honestly the I think the most attention Juan Ferrero's ever got. I
Yeah,
think people love his
exactly.
turtles more than anything he's ever
Exactly.
done. And
Yeah, I
is he gonna get that somewhere else?
no. No.
I don't
No,
know. I mean,
he's not
he
going to get a
probably will.
showcase like that. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know. He's not a difficult person to put on, but I mean, he did the horror books initially for Dark Horse, the colder book.
Right?
And I remember
Beautiful.
seeing that. It was creepy. It was
It's
rough,
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool, but I don't know. I don't know where you can't drop him in. Same thing, Hori Corona. Hori Corona is doing Lobo, so that's kind of good. That's kind of a good
Yeah,
fit. But
that's a good
I
fit.
feel like he fell into that almost by accident, thankfully. But I wouldn't have been mad if he just stayed on,
Wait,
you know,
well,
on
Young was
Transformers.
probably waiting. Sky Young was probably just waiting for him to get done with Transformers. Like, come on, dude.
Well, yeah, because they worked together at the Middle West, so I get that. Yeah, yeah, okay. Speaking of odd artwork, did you ever read? Let me go to this real fast. Did you ever read any of these? These were the Magnolia like little one shots. Mr. Higgins comes home. Our Encounters an Evil and Falcon Spear. There's like a separate
Us.
little like continuity, but they're all done by this artist, the Warwick Jackson Caldwell, who also did a book called Helena Crash, which was excellent. And that was through I think IDW or Mad Cave or something. I'm not sure. Excellent book. It was like an
I didn't
excellent,
read
excellent
Helena
book.
Crash, but as far as I know, I read everything else Mignola related.
Yeah, this was really and his art is just like odd. It's just it feels like a what was that? Triplets of Belleville. It feels like that like French
That's
type of
what I
like
was just thinking.
long. Yeah,
I
it's
was
really
literally
cool.
I
I
was
love
literally
that
thinking
movie,
that
dude.
when I saw the Nosferatu guy like crunched over. That's exactly the movie I was thinking of.
Yeah,
I
I
love
would like
that
to watch
movie.
that again.
Yeah, I only saw it once
Um,
in a theater, and I'm like, it really had an impact on me.
did we see that together? We might have saw it together. Very possible.
Maybe.
Very possible. But this is kind of fun because but like, I just fucking Magnolia. Like, what's up with these like one shots or two issues?
Two issues. Like this is
Where are you going to put this? Where are you going to put this? Like, that's what I'm
I
saying. Like,
know.
even the issue. Well, the funny thing was, what was the last thing he did with the Edward Gray, like kind of the closing of that whole thing?
Three issues. Three.
That was three,
That
but then he does the hardcover or whatever. And then there's like a 16 page all new Mike Mignola, like, so I have to get the hard, like, it's exclusive. What are you doing? He would do that sometimes in the trades, and it would be 2 pages or something. Okay,
yeah.
don't do 16 pages. It was crazy. But these are characters. What this is like? This is kind of when he did the Visitor miniseries a couple years ago, which actually I really liked because there's
I like it a
literally
lot too.
a page in one issue of Seed of Destruction, which just has this alien. He's like, I'm watching this Hellboy thing happen, and they never referenced it again. And then years later, they're just like, okay, you want to know what that guy was all about? It was called like The Visitor and what he was all about, or something like it. It had like a re-subtitle.
Yeah.
So these are the twins, the twin demons, these two guys. So like that these guys fighting in hell, that were in Hellboy in Hell. So he's like, I want to do more with that. Actually, it's his brother. So it's Todd Mignola, that he kind of pitched it, and so it's brothers writing about brothers.
Gotcha.
That's fun. That's fun. I love
I
it.
think they should have like funny names like I'm Gary Hellboy and this is Mitch. Mitch and
Yeah,
Gary.
it's Gammon and Lusk.
Nope.
Uh,
Mitch and Gary.
Mitch and Gary. Here's your favorite person. Not at Baltimore this year. Last year, Rob's new arch nemesis. Rob's very friendly, and we all know this. We all see it. Very friendly man.
I get along with everyone. And
However,
people he did
both
not
of
want to
us
talk
have
to
this
me.
problem. We both of us have this problem. Me and you have this problem. We're very insistent when we like our brain registers something and it holds it as it's
Yes.
fact. It's fucking fact. It's not an opinion. It's a fucking fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like this happened to that, this happened here, and like continuity wise, we'll fight. Me and you will fight, and we'll figure it out. We'll look it
Yeah.
up, but we'll fight for a
We've
little bit
read
about it.
we've read hundreds of wizards and amazing heroes and comics interviews and we try to scour the internet for old
You
interviews
told
that have
Eric Larson
disappeared.
something, and he's like, "That's not true," and he's like, "No, it is." What do you say? I have no recollection of that. What was that? What
Yeah,
was the Eric Larson story?
the story was he had talked about doing a Batman Legends of the Dark Knight storyline before Image found it. You know, as he left Spider-Man, adjectiveless, he's like, I'm gonna do a Batman story. It's gonna have Killer Croc in it. He goes, and I'm doing Batman with like no lips. For some reason, he said that. So I brought it up to him. He's like, Nah, I was never gonna do Batman. I'm like, No, you were really gonna do Batman with Killer Croc. He goes, No, I wasn't. So I went and found the Wizard
Listen.
number three, and I scanned it and I put it on his page. I'm like, because someone else brought it up. Like
Mm,
a year or two later, I kind of let it drop, and then someone brought it up on a board. He's like,
right.
Nah, I was never going to do Batman. So I put up the interview, and he's like, Well, I guess I was. He goes, But I got no memory of that at all.
Wow.
Nothing. He
Yeah.
goes, I got nothing in my brain. Like he remembers. See, here's the thing. In between Image and Marvel, he was going to do a Lobo miniseries with Keith Giffen, probably Infanticide. He was going to do
Mm,
a Nova ongoing series or a miniseries, depending, and
right.
Batman. He had a bunch of stuff planned, but Image Comics happened, and all of that fell to the wayside.
Right. Yeah. An
Thankfully,
X-Force issue, an X-Force fill-in issue.
yes, he had an X-Force villain issue, like 90% done. There's scans of it 70% done,
Mm.
but he lost it in his house fire. He actually drew that while he was drawing Spider-Man, which to me is kind of like nostalgia purposes, peak Larson. Peak Larson for me, my favorite stuff is from Spider-Man through the Dragon miniseries. I love it.
You're talking adjectiveless.
Yes,
15
yes, because
and
he inked
then
it. He inked it and wrote it.
yeah.
Like his Amazing Spider-Man run is good, but other people ink that. He learned to ink, and he became his own best inker.
Who's your favorite Larson inker?
Don't we always just kind of tend towards like an Emberline? Oh,
Yeah, I'd say
Austin,
Randy. Randy everyone.
Terry, Randy. For Spider-Man, it's Emberline, but Terry Austin inked him on an Excalibur story in Marvel Comic Presents that looks fantastic.
Did he yeah, did he ink him in Heir Apparent? That might have been Larson. Heir Apparent.
That might have been him because that when he wanted to ink, he didn't. Yeah, he started to ink that. I think he inked his Wolverine Spider-Man Marvel Comics Presents story. Not positive, but he inked a Namor annual over Chris Fry. Chris
Namor.
Fry, yes, pencil a Namor annual.
Paul
Larson.
Fry?
That's where. Yeah, Paul Fry.
Paul Fry.
Yeah, Paul Fry, who's doing Blood Squad 7.
He did that. He inked a Namor annual.
Yes, and it's only he. It doesn't even say Eric Larson. It just says Larson. There's no like great listing
Hmm.
for that annual. He's like, hey, he
Okay.
goes, he's like, I want to practice inking, and they're like, sure, here's an annual. He's like, okay, and he just inked it like quickly too. He inked it quickly too. Like he turned it around very fast. But
Heir
that's how he.
Apparent. So what
Yeah,
did you
apparently
play with
good.
Scott Dunbier? You last year you fought with him because he said something and then you disagreed with him and he kept
Oh, we
fighting
were
you
talking.
again.
We were talking. Like it started off like he just wasn't real conversational. Like I brought up the fact that he had a Alan Moore Gen 13 annual that never got printed. Like and that was the end conversation because he had released that as like a charity thing for I think William Messner Loeb's. Anyway, so I brought up like he's very close with Sam Keith. So IDW, since Scott Dunbier was in with IDW, reprinted all of the Max totally recolored, which is really awesome. And they made some trades, but they never made hardcovers. I said, hopefully you could do the Max 1/2 for the darker image story. Like I'd love to see that recolored and put in the trades. He's like, it's already in there. And I'm like, oh no, it's not. I said, you never did those two books. He goes, yeah, we did.
Right.
I'm like, okay. Like I would know. I have them all.
Right, right,
Like,
right. Those are the maximum
oh,
editions.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And he was very just off putting. And maybe I called him a bad day. Maybe he was hungry. I think within minutes his family brought sandwiches and they had just dove in.
Give him a
So
sandwich. That's not one of my rules downstairs. If you're fighting or you're bickering, just eat a sandwich because probably you're hungry. That's why I never really fight with people because I eat. Good
yeah,
diner last night. Good diner. You got the
oh yeah,
calamari at the diner and nachos.
did.
Those
Yo,
nachos look fucking good, dude.
I
I
was
was
so
so
I was so hungry.
I can't help
And it,
myself at a diner to get fucking breakfast, and I get it, and I look at all your food, and I'm looking at the chicken parm sandwich Brian had. I'm like, fuck, so
yeah,
stupid. I'm
and
so
and
dumb.
then I
Such a creature of
and
habit.
then I didn't eat half of either one. I ate half of each. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, they're
Took it
gonna
home.
cook up good today, though.
Yeah,
Dunbeer. So is our edition Act 4 coming through? I don't know how many issues this is. I don't know how big this could be because I feel like he only did like 5 issues of Doctor Strange, so it's kind of weird.
that's all you need.
That's
That's
all you
100
need.
pages.
I also don't know. We really need to do like some type of like podcast about like the ads of things that never happened, you know. Oh shit, guess what yesterday? So yesterday I got a couple posters, right? The posters they had the Nightwing poster. They had the Nightwing art T-Bear poster.
Oh,
It
nice.
was $100 and I was like, I'm not paying
Wow.
$100 for that. And it was half off. I'm like, still $50, still too much for that. But I got the Conan rune, and I got a Silver Sable, which is a Stephen Butler. So if Steve Butler comes around, I'll have to take that to him. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a great artwork. But the there is a Frank Miller. What did it say? It was Roger Stern, Frank Miller, Doctor Strange ad,
Right.
and it never happened. It was right around
Correct.
this time. Is there any pages for that fucking thing? Like there's an ad says it's happening and it never happened and no one talks about it. No, what happened? You know, Roger Stern. We got to get Roger Stern. Frank Miller might be hard.
Mark.
He doesn't remember last week, so I'm not
No,
sure if he could
no.
remember. You
The
know
Roger
what
Stern
happened.
someone I would love to talk to because
Yeah,
when I was buying Larson and McFarlane Spider-Man, I would often find his Amazing Spider-Man in back issue bins, and I'm like, this guy's so good.
he did a
He was so
lot.
good,
Yeah,
and it's really good
yeah,
stuff. He started the whole progressive movement with Spider-Man, making him like making him learn from his lessons. Michelini did a good job too. Like I
yeah,
know
yeah.
people are
Michelini
always like,
carried it.
yeah, people are always like, oh, Spider-Man's always got to mess up, you know, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. He's things can happen to him, but he's not stupid. He's like a genius level guy who's been being a superhero for I don't know Marvel time 10 years, but 60 years. Like he's got to learn. Like he needs to always get a little bit better. He can't keep like messing up all the time. And
Rob messing it up. Did it?
yeah, uh,
Eric Larson
whatever.
inked chapter 6 of Heir Apparent himself, but that
Good.
was after that. That was after the Terry Austin Excalibur stuff.
Oh, way after that Excalibur
Yeah,
stuff came before Amazing Spider-Man. I
Heir
think.
Apparent, 1991. Whoop.
I think the Excalibur story of Marvel Comic Presents, which is reprinted in one of the Excalibur omnibuses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
they got a really. So if you want to read that book, they look really. They're really clean files too. They must have had the files still for that,
yeah.
which is good. No
Well,
no crappy scans in the middle like the Violator trade.
so this article here, the Grant Morrison article, I got here because this has less weird Rich Johnston subtext. Rich Johnston took the Grant Morrison AMA and made like 15 fucking articles out of it. Okay.
Yes.
To which it was all like the title itself didn't match. And there's a couple websites that do this, which I think is really bad. Like last week, it's either comicbook.com or I'm trying to, it might be that. There's another one that's really notorious for it. So last week they're like sequel to Acolyte, and I click on it, I'm like that. No, that didn't go, and it's an art book, and I'm like that's not a sequel. That's not what you said. They're like, early cancel. That's what something like that. Early cancel gets another. But I think it said sequel in the title. It's like fuck you. That's not it. So there was a
Oh,
bunch of
didn't
articles
you
that
Then you click on the James Gunn out at Warner Brothers. And you're like, what? And then
yeah.
it's like all hypothetical. If Paramount buys it,
If this
he
happened to
might
that and that
not
happened to
he might
this,
not
yeah.
get along. I was like, no, he's got a solid contract. You don't start a movie universe without a solid ass contract. And if they do kick him out, he's gonna get paid like crazy, and you'll never find a better replacement. Listen, people may hate James Gunn. I don't know why, but like you're not gonna find a better replacement. There's nobody out there.
I think that
Nobody.
I think it just I think the situation of it is that I just feel like he's best at the ragtag thing. You know, like I think he's best at that, and I feel like that they just ushered him into Superman, and I feel like
You're
that's where they're.
you're
I think
correct.
I feel like he should have produced that. I feel like someone else maybe should have directed that. I do
And you
like
know
it.
what? That might be the way of the future. Like we'll see how good Supergirl is.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he loves doing like I think he would just do Peacemaker for the rest of his life if he could. Like he loves that show
yeah,
so
sure.
much, and it shows.
I don't know if there's a Peacemaker season 3. It hasn't been announced. I'm not sure if they're going to do it. Everyone hated the finale. I wonder if I say what if I could go back out, maybe I can edit the 2 episodes. I don't have time for this, but if I could edit the last 2 episodes together and switch some things around, I feel like it could still have the same emotional beats.
You
You
could
could have
make a
had
an
the
hour and a half
intervention.
episode.
Yeah, the emotional intervention that happens in the last episode, if that was, I think, an episode before, because people were just like, why are we watching this cry fest at the end? I feel like if you would have had that before, but I guess you couldn't because then he's fighting with his brother. I don't know. It's just I'm not sure. Anyway, Grant Morrison time, everybody.
Yes,
Grant Morrison,
I
AMA.
didn't, I didn't read this whole thing yet, but I can't wait to read it all. The whole AMA interview.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing was, and this I think is funny, like this is just this article broke it down. Pro this is AIPT. They broke it down per magic practice daily, less pyrotechnic and extravagant, and more immersive. I don't know what that means. We asked him a question when we met him in Philly years ago. I think Ian asked him what about magic, and then he just started talking fast. And when you're Scottish and you talk fast, I don't know what the fuck he said. I have no idea what he said. I had a question and it was kind of a normal question, and then he answered it, and I was like, all right, that's the answer that I was expecting. And then when this went over here, it was just like, it was just all over the place. So writer's block, there's no such thing as writer's block. Ooh, I don't know if that's true. Let me see. There was
I think
one.
of that same Philly show. The question I got in was talking about Earth Two, the Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely crime syndicate book, and and a possible follow up. And he's like, "Yeah, we have definite ideas for that." And Frank Quitely shook his head like, "Yeah, like we want to do something." It didn't happen. And then when I was talking to Mark Miller about it, like within a year, he goes, "Oh no," he goes, "I'm talking to Frank. We have a sequel idea where we want to do stuff with the Teen Titans, like an evil crime syndicate Teen Titans." I'm like, "Awesome." Guess what happened? None of
Nothing.
it.
Mark Millar lies all the time. Lies
Mark
all the
Miller.
time. All the time.
Hey, did you
Um,
see? You're probably not covered. Are you covered his movie in the news or whatever, or his new comic?
yeah.
No, you are covering it.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll shut
Covered.
up. I'll shut up.
Multiversity. I guess people were accusing him of stealing that, of like part of the "don't turn this page" stuff lifted from the monster at the end of this book. But that's not true. Because I know there's always been fourth wall stuff. There's been fourth wall stuff, so he's stating fourth wall stuff back in Flash 163.
Also, why are people so obsessed with like you copied from this? I assure you, whatever he copied it from somewhere else, and that person
Yeah.
copied it from somewhere. There's not that there's no original ideas, but
Look,
like
you can read
everything's been
you
done
can read
somehow.
Batman. The first issue of Batman is the Shadow story. It's just lifted directly from a Shadow. It's beat by beat. It has some of the
I,
same character names. Like it's whatever,
I'm
man.
gonna I'm gonna tell a quick story. Basically, I heard a story that when Alan Moore was working for Avatar said, "Hey, why don't you do your Twilight of the Superhero story, your infamous story you were going to do for DC, and do it for us? Just create your all new characters, new Superman, new Batman, whatever." And he
Right.
was like, "I don't want." He goes, "What? First off, it's in the past. I try to move forward. I'll try to move forward." And then he he said, "But I don't want DC to like come after me. Like even though he's already done Supreme, he didn't have to
Right.
create Supreme. He just took someone else's character, so he doesn't
Right.
get
Right. Right.
the grief for that." But like the point is like I'm like none of these characters are original. If DC comes after you for ripping off Superman, it's like, hey, guess what? There's John Carter and Gladiator, and you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Let's go down the line of what Superman is. And I'm not even taking that away from Superman. I freaking love Superman to
Mhm.
death. It's the perfect culmination of everything that came before it. So like, don't worry about that stuff. Not that
Yeah, I mean,
Alan's going to
it's a
come
shame.
back and
It's
do
a shame
that.
that never like came about. But I always argued. I argued this back in 2000 in the store. I would argue like he would always like be pissed off about stuff, Alan Moore, and I was like, he's like, you're ripping on, and I was like, you took the Charlton character, like you're famous, and even the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is an Avengers of all sorts of
Right.
literary characters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like he created one character. No, like one, basically. He created John Constantine. He created one character. That's it. Right? I mean,
Listen,
do we think he created more than that?
sure,
Just that,
the whole sure. There's stuff there that's
I'm
totally
sure there's
original.
stuff in
I'm
the
just not.
Parliament of Trees. There's concepts, but
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like
concepts are
there's like
great.
there's like a character. I feel like that's like there's one signature
There's
character.
there's super original characters all strewn about like the ABC universe. Who's Promethea really? That's not Wonder Woman. You know,
Right. Right. That's more
Huh.
exactly. Yeah.
There's stuff all over the place. But and here's the other thing about Alan Moore. He's not the grump the internet makes him out to be. I was talking to an artist yesterday. He's like, "Oh no, that's all." If you meet him, he's the sense of humor is there. He's dry. He's funny. He's lovable.
Mhm.
Everyone I've talked to, you talk to Jose Villarrubia, you talk to Chris Staros, people who have actually worked with him, dealt with him, they all love him. Even Liefeld tells stories. He goes, Alan Moore's a businessman, first and foremost, but
Mhm.
like, he's not that grump. He doesn't walk around every day begrudging DC for ripping him off. He doesn't. He doesn't even think about it. He's a
Well,
just,
I
and
think it's
I talked to his daughter. It's just people want to ask him the same questions every time, and
yeah,
he
yeah,
just.
yeah.
But if you were to hear him talk about it, it's different affectations in his voice. He's not the grump you think he is, and he's high most of the time anyway. So not a lot of angry high
It's true.
people.
That's correct. Um, Yesterday when speaking of the Alan Moore, speaking of an Alan, so I met Alan Davis yesterday, which is kind of big for me, pretty exciting. But what I thought was interesting, and this actually kind of dovetails to other stuff, all Conan related as usual. So when I got there, I had to hunt a little bit for a Conan book because I know that he's only done, surprisingly, Alan Davis has done like one Conan issue, and his Conan issue is the cover was by Marco Checchetto. It was the end of a Savage Sword of Conan. He did a two-issue fill, and Roy Thomas wrote it. But when I gave it to him, he like, well, first when I was talking to the guy who was drawing a sketch, I talked to his handler. His handler says, I said, well, how much are how much per book most of these artists or writers charge? And he's like, oh, you can just put a donation and it'll go to the Hero Initiative. You can put it whenever you want. Put $1, $10, $1 million, doesn't matter. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, well, here, put in 10.
I think
I got like 3 books. I
I
got an
think
Amazing
I think
Hero signed.
I think $1 million does matter.
Well, yeah, I got an Amazing Hero signed. I got, which was pretty cool. Which he said, I haven't seen this in forever. So that was kind of a cool. You want to give something, you want to give an artist something, just like when we gave Panosian the Prophet Zero last week when I
Yeah,
gave it to him, he was like, "What? Oh, I haven't seen this in forever." I'm like, "Right." So and then they're just kind of looking at it, and kind of like think it probably pulls them back in time, right? It's like a little bit of a time machine. So he's looking at
yeah,
that, and he's just like, "I haven't seen this in forever." No, and it just like his face lit up, and it was really cool. It was like a cool. But when the handler said something to me, he says he'll sign anything but Eclipse Miracle Man. Okay. And a lot of us know the story, like brief synopsis of that. Basically, when Eclipse got the rights to print it over here, they changed Marvel Man to Miracle Man,
right.
right? Because again, Marvel Man, they're going to get sued, just like, litigious, all that
That
stuff. What
that
Alan
wasn't
Moore's.
just preemptive. I think that was actually spoken. I think Marvel had actually already reached out to him
Okay. Okay.
because he was straight up Marvel Man over in Britain in Warrior magazine, just
Right,
so
right,
everyone
right.
knows. And in fact, what's funny thing about Miracle Man is when Alan Moore pitched Marvel Man to Warrior magazine to Des Skin, he said if we can't use Marvel Man, I think a name like Miracle Man would be fine. So he had already
Mm.
had that name in his pocket.
Okay. Okay. So, but that was that was a character before or no?
Who? Who? Marvel Man?
Marvel Man.
Marvel Man. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know that, right?
that's classic. Yeah, I know, but I want you
That's
to
okay.
tell.
Yeah. No, Marvel Man
I
was a
want to make
pre-existing
sure.
character when DC finally the last lawsuit that ended Captain Marvel. DC still lost. Fawcett still retained the rights to Captain Marvel, but like Fawcett didn't have the money to keep fighting DC every year in court over whether or not Captain Marvel was a ripoff of Superman. Well,
Mm.
over in England, they were reprinting Captain Marvel comics in black and white. So when Fawcett stopped creating new Captain Marvel stories, they're like, all right, no more Captain Marvel. Here's Marvel Man. It's the same exact thing. He doesn't say Shazam. He says Komoda. He doesn't have Mary
Mm.
Marvel. He's got Kid Marvel. Kid Marvel Man. We got Young Marvel Man. And Alan Moore grew up on that. So in the 80s, he wanted to do a modern take on that book. And that's what he said. If we can't use Marvel Man, I'm going to create Miracle Man. He was going to create a pastiche of Marvel Man called Miracle Man. And they're like, nope, we can do Marvel Man. Not a problem.
Right.
Still a little sketchy. We're not sure about that. Dead Skin really having the rights. Marvel still paid the creator, Mick Anglo.
Right,
We
right,
think
right.
$1 million for the rights to Marvel Man. We
Who paid
think
that?
Marvel when they got the rights to Marvel Man, Miracle Man finally.
After it went to like Gaiman had partial rights to it, and like
He may
it
have
got
had
really
rights.
messy.
McFarlane thought he had rights when he bought all the rights to Eclipse stuff. It
Right,
was a
right, right.
mess.
Yeah. So that being said, like when the Sandler said that, I was like, why? I was like, why is that? Like he said it, and he said it to a couple of us, and then I was like, and Al was taking his time drawing this like Phoenix sketch, and I'm like, why is that? He's like, he never got paid for it ever, ever. And he said
Reprint rights.
once it got to Marvel, once because Alan Davis did 3, 4 issues of Miracle Man. Does that sound right?
Something like that. Maybe a little less, but somewhere around there.
Which
He
basically
did
at
a bunch.
that time that was in Warrior magazine
Yes.
reprinted, and then became
Yes.
original when it went to like Rick Veitch and stuff like that. That was
Yes.
original,
That
full
was all
issues.
original. Oh,
Um, and it's a lot of 80s lore, so people like who have never read it, like it's still not that very well available. I don't think they did do an omnibus, I believe, but I believe that's out of print. When Marvel got it, I think everyone was expecting him to be pulled into the university that Miracle Man, Marvel Man Zero,
mhm.
Miracle Man Zero. What did they call it when it came here? Marvel. What did they call
It's
it?
Miracle Man. They still call
Oh,
him
it's
Miracle
Miracle Man,
Man.
right? It's very confusing. So, but when they did Miracle Man, they asked Alan Davis to do the covers. And he says, well, once it got to Marvel, the handler says, Marvel made it right. He still got money for the covers. He's like, but when they got the big settlement, they gave it all to uh, Gary Leach, who Gary Leach, I believe, was sick and he passed away a couple years ago. So we
Right.
don't know that. I don't know the more details of that story, but I think that's pretty interesting. He said, yeah, when a lot of people got their royalties, they just gave, I imagine Alan Moore, because Alan Moore pretty much either writes away his royalties for the most part. Like Watchmen, he doesn't make money. He gives it to Dave Gibbons. Like
Correct.
anything he gets, kind of mind-boggling, but yeah, he gives to Dave Gibbons.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure his daughters must love that.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's hurt. I think
I,
everybody's
I
all
don't.
right.
I don't. I don't know if he still does that with Dave Gibbons because he had an out with Dave Gibbons. So I don't know. I know all the movie stuff went to Dave Gibbons.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if Alan Moore's still getting checks. He should. He deserves them. That's all his work. And
yeah,
what do we just say? We just saw a Tom Strong compendium, right? They're making
yeah.
a second Tom Strong compendium or whatever DC calls
I
it.
believe
So
so. Yeah, yeah. And
hopefully
they
that's
did.
more
I
money.
saw one yesterday. I saw a new Promethea book one hardcover, and I looked at it. I was like, it was like 12 issues. How many issues per Promethea? Three? 36?
32, something like that. 32 or
Yes.
36.
So I guess, and I think I still have it. I had the issue where I have the last issue, and I took the staples out and laid it out on the floor.
I I bought the poster. I bought the print of all the stuff. But then I sold it for like $500. It was like it went crazy. It's crazy rare.
Yeah.
That came with a really nice copy of the comic too, without the lettering, I think, or something. But it was signed by I think Todd Klein and J.H. Williams. I don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
Been
Yeah.
a long time. Been a long time.
My one
So
cat's in the
Alan
in
Moore,
the you getting a little
Cradle.
tan? One cat's in the windowsill. So, but yeah, we need to go through this. So that aside. But yeah. So the Allens and rights and royalties and giving them around like it's kind of a thing. It seems so. Um, but yeah, this AMA will probably frustrate us both when really going through it. These are just some of the certain highlights here. His favorite character right was Martian Manhunter. Oh, that's awesome. At that him talking about the JLA, like the Seven, the Olympus, great.
Yeah.
I saw, I just saw a logo for the Lantern series, which was like just kind of like a green. It looked okay, and then a hat. So that should be relatively soon. Um, Absolute. This I think was really weird. Morrison calls DC Absolute line a masterstroke the freshest characters have felt since the Silver Age. So I wonder how much he reads now. But
He
he
is a
knows
comic fan.
nothing. He knows nothing. He doesn't really know about the Ultimates line, and that's okay. You know. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Ray Javins called him. Said yes. Superman, the best Superman movie yet for James Gunn. Okay. Consulted at times Sophia Coppola on Wonder Woman. Was that a thing at one point? He consulted on Jared Leto's Joker. Oh my no. Oh gosh.
That
Oh,
makes sense.
speaking of Alan
Those,
Tudyk's, Alan Tudyk's wife is the choreographer. Did you see this?
yeah, I just saw
She's
that.
she's the choreographer of the Peacemaker openings, and there's video of him practicing it. And she's like, I selected him because he's actually not that good of a dancer. So it was like I had to train him how to do it. And I'm like, geez. But, fucking good on him because he looked way game, right? That's pretty fun. He was like in it. Like, Alan Tudyk is a secret weapon, like all over the fucking place.
Yeah, he is.
And
James Gunn.
Alan,
James Gunn must love him.
Alan Tudyk's a famous robot. He was iRobot. And Will
Yes,
Smith
I
didn't
didn't know
like that.
that.
He was iRobot. And I think I told you this. There was a podcast recently I heard him on, Alan Tudyk's. And his name's Tudyk, but I just call him Tudyk, so I think it's funny.
Right, right.
It's probably not after I said it like 7, 8 times. Anyway, so
Right.
but he was on a podcast.
Mark, you know who else likes two dicks?
No,
Samantha
I
from
don't.
Bewitched.
Oh,
Ah,
Dick
you didn't
Sargent,
expect,
Dick York.
that's right. You didn't expect that, did you? Last time I made that joke, Mark cut it, so we won't go into that.
That will remain cuts. That will remain. I
It's
might
the
cut
only
this
cut.
now. I might even cut
The
this.
only. No, you're not,
Oh,
because that's a good joke.
it is a good joke. So anyway, but apparently Will Smith's ego, he couldn't deal with it because he was told from his like publicist or whatever that they were going to go on a press tour, and Alan Tudyk was cut from the press tour because his character was like charting better than Will Smith's character, and he doesn't like that. So this is when Will Smith's ego started to get out of control. It was in control for a period. I would say when he first blew up and went to the screen with Independence Day and
Right, Men in
and
Black,
Men in
back to
Black,
back.
and then it just was like fuck it, forget it.
So Alan Tudyk he's Gary, number 4, right?
Yeah,
He's Clayface.
he's Clayface on.
Oh no, he's Clayface
Harley
in Harley Quinn. Okay.
Yeah.
Was he Clayface in the Creature Commandos episode?
Yes.
All right, and he's
He's
GI Robot.
he's GI Robot. Yeah.
He's Doctor Phosphorus. No, he's not. No, wait a minute.
Is GI Robot a Sean gun?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But he's Doctor Phosphorus, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I know he's a million things if you look it up. He's a million.
Is he? What is James Gunn going to give him to actually be? I feel like he needs to be.
We talked about this yesterday. My theory is we'll never see any of any. We'll never see the Creature Commandos anywhere.
You're definitely going to see one. I guarantee.
I don't think we're going to see. You think we're
I
going to get David Harbour?
I think so. I think
David
so.
Harbour
also,
is not. He's not Jared Leto level, but he does not move ticket sales. He didn't move ticket sales for Hellboy. Somehow that Silent Night, Deadly Night's getting a fucking sequel because I think it was cheap. I never saw it. I thought it looked okay. I thought the trailer. I thought the concept ran through in the trailer. In 3 minutes, and I'm like, I think I got it. I think
it's probably like 80% as good as Nobody. That's what I look at it, and that's what I look at it. I think like, all right, well, I like Nobody enough, but this is probably like almost as good as Nobody.
Yeah, I don't need Nobody 2. You're probably right. Yeah, I don't need Nobody 2, which is just Nobody like on vacation. Like I don't need Bob Odenkirk with
Nobody
a bad
2
beard.
on vacation is like the best 80s sequel idea. Like
that does sound like that. Yeah, maybe I would watch it just for that. I want to see Beastmaster 2 because I watched Beastmaster recently and it was fucking awesome. It was much better than I thought. I thought it was going to play worse. But there is a Beastmaster 2 where he goes to like Los Angeles in the 90s.
Is
I'm like,
is it still him?
Shit.
Is it still him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Naked Mark Singer.
I vaguely remember that. I did say hi to Mark Singer one time. I seen him down at MegaCon. I'm like, Mark Singer.
Mark Singer, you hold up. You look great.
It was like, me and Kathy went to MegaCon one year in Florida. And we saw him, and then we saw the kid who played Atreyu just walking around. I'm like, look, there's Atreyu, Falcor,
Atreyu. That's what. Yeah, I'm sure he loves that. I'm sure he loves getting screamed at.
I'm sure. You know what? At least
I would talk to him and say like, hey, by the way, I was permanently scarred by you drowning that horse.
Yeah, that's how
there's a making of. There's a making of. I took my kids to see that when they were like 9 because it played. Yeah, because it played out on like a Fandango event. I'm like, here we go, and they had like before the movie they showed like a 20-minute making of, which was weird, and it was good. But they literally show like how they drowned the horse. Like it was some type of like it was like they have all the stuff filling around him, and then they moved him over to breathe. It was just like
they went through 3 horses. It was terrible. 3 horses died in the making of that movie. No, my girls watched that movie too.
Man. That
Neverending
seems so
Story.
horrible.
It's a
It's like
really
a rite
weird
of
movie.
passage, though. That's like a rite of passage movie. That's like,
Yeah.
this is what life's going to be like. There's going
You
to
know
be
what it
hard
is?
times, disappointments, and because even the end's like way existential. The end's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Really existential. I think kids in the '60s had Old Yeller. We had the horse from Neverending Story.
Oh God, I hate it. I hate it. I can see it. It's in my
Yeah.
mind's eye. Yeah, so
Yeah, Neverending
but you're right.
Story
Yeah,
is
I feel like we
it's
need to
weird.
watch like sequels. We need to maybe we do an episode on like on sequels.
Uh, like Police Academy 5 through 8. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, we talked in the car yesterday where we were
Yeah, we did.
driving that we were going to do the Pauly Shore movies.
Right?
Uh, and then we
Because
were going to do
we were talking about Yahoo series because he did like
Ernest.
there's 10 Ernest movies.
I've seen
10
three.
there's 10.
Two. Two I
I
know
think
I've seen probably previewed Christmas. Ernest Saves Christmas.
I think I think
That was when I was running out.
I think I've seen 4 or 5, and I made a commitment to watch all 10 one day. But it's like been 30 years because they started going direct to VHS and like we go to
Yeah.
West Coast Video, which was a popular video chain here before Blockbuster
Yep.
became the
On Little
monopoly.
Gloucester Road in Blackwood. I know exactly
Yeah,
where it is.
yeah, it was awesome. Um, Things would just show up on VHS. I remember
Yeah.
seeing like a VHS for like Flesh Gordon 2, and I'm like, I never saw Flesh Gordon 1, and then I'm like, what the hell's Flesh
Never
Gordon?
Ending Story 2 with Jack Black.
I saw that. No, he's in 3.
Season 3. Okay.
I saw 2 in the theater. 3 was direct to VHS. 2 is bad. Oh, because it lost the weirdness to it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And of course, like you had to recast Atreyu, and it just looked like this. I don't know. The kid didn't look the same. They didn't even try to make him look the same.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's funny? You ever see the kid who plays Bastion or Sebastian? Like in real life today, he's got like long dreads and a beard. He just looks
Oh, really?
like what does Bastion look
Uh,
like today?
so the what was that movie? What was the Chairman of the Board was Yahoo Serious?
Oh no, chairman of the board was Carrot Top.
Carrot Top. Okay. So the whatever
Do
Yahoo
you
Serious was, I can't even
have
remember
you
the Yahoo
ever
Serious one.
have you ever seen the clip with on Conan about chairman of the board?
No.
All right. The girl in it is the blonde from Melrose Place and Ally McBeal. She's like the love
Courtney
interest of that
Thorne
movie.
Smith.
Yes, she's the love interest, and Norm
What the
Macdonald's
fuck is
there.
wrong? What the fuck is wrong with me? Why do I have that? Why am I in the
Why do,
Internet Movie Database?
why do I know half her movies already?
There was a
So
question you asked me yesterday, and I couldn't answer for the life of me. But I can pull Courtney Thorne Smith. You're like,
yeah,
where'd you live down here?
I
I'm
was
like, I
like,
don't know.
what's your kid's middle name? I don't know.
Yeah.
So they're all Conan. It's Norm Macdonald and Courtney Thorne Smith, and Norm just keeps ripping into the movie, and Conan's like the kind of like Norm, you got to be nice. She's talking about her movie and stuff, and he's like, well, what's the title of the movie? He goes, and I bet you can't make fun of that, Norm. And she's like, well, she goes, it's chairman of the board, and Norm goes, yeah, but it's spelled Bored.
I think I have seen that. Yeah, I think I have
It's
seen that. Oh my God.
it's so funny.
But the Yahoo Serious situation,
He did
Brian
4
looks up
movies,
in the
by the
back
way.
seat. 4? I don't know if I could
There's
do it.
4.
Fuck. Um,
Yeah,
but the Yahoo Serious situation, which is recent, by the way, you can look up. What was it? It was a current affair Australian edition.
yeah,
Yahoo Serious is a squatter in Australia, New Zealand, whatever.
yeah.
Like, and just lives in someone's house, and then like the reporter goes there and even says to him, is like, Yahoo, you can't be serious at one point. And he's like, I am serious. I'm staying here. And he has like no problem, no compunction, if that's even the right word, to like
Yeah.
just stay at this dude's house as
But
it's
like
for
they're trying to
sale.
sell it, and he's 72 years old.
That's weird. When I heard that, I'm like, oh my God.
Mark and I
It just
talked
seems
about
like, because once they leave the
when
public eye, like they're permanently in your brain as that age, right?
I
You
only
know?
picture him with crazy hair
Yeah.
and
Young
being
Einstein.
20
That's
years
what Young
young
Einstein.
Einstein. It's young Einstein. What's funny is when they promoted that movie, they're
Oh my
like, Yahoo
God.
Serious is young Einstein. And Mark and I, as kids, were like, all right, well, I guess I should know who Yahoo Serious is, right? Because
I don't know.
they're
Right.
promoting him like it's Yahoo Serious.
Yeah, they
Like
did.
he's
They
the
did a
next.
definite. Well, if you had Mr. Voice, if Mr. Voice was narrating the trailer, which was most trailers, right? With
Right.
Don, whatever his name is, right? So if Don was telling you a fact, they lived on the Upper West Side, like that's the voice. But that the fact is, and you're just like, this is gospel. This is correct. I should know who Yahoo Serious is, you know? But yeah, so we need to go through all the Ernest movies. We need to go through all the Pauly Shore movies, where it jumps the shark. Someone posted the jump the shark clip today on Instagram, which I thought was really funny. And it's so not exciting and it's not dangerous. Like there's no danger. It's like a shark in this like little space, and
Yes.
you don't even see the shark. You don't even see the fin like that. It comes up when the stuntman clearly is not. It's like another guy. All it's completely. What was it?
Yes.
Was I'm gonna get you sucker where they had like the stuntman was like a white guy with a wig on. Like it went to like a
Maybe.
white guy. It's so funny. You're like, oh my God, that is not the right scene. But that's how those movies were. They just like that was not. It was yeah, Henry Winkler for most of the water skiing. Okay,
Yeah.
what the fuck? But that's just funny that I mean that guy made a whole career writing that book. You know, he had a website, I guess, right? It was the jumptheshark.com, and it was
Yes.
just where the movies or where the television show like loses it. Franchise lose it. You know, Pauly Shore basically played himself most of the time. When did that lose it? Ernest was Ernest. I feel like there was a documentary on that guy. Was it Jim Varney? I feel like there was a documentary on
I
that
hope so.
guy.
He was great.
You're behind on your docs. You got to get to the Pee Wee
I
Herman
am.
doc,
I
which is
dude.
an uncomfortable doc.
It's almost like I'm saving it. I don't know why I'm saving it. Like
The
I
Charlie
just
Sheen one was too. He's too involved in it, and there's no objectivity. Like there's no like, and also it's like he never was like there's no danger. You know.
did you
So
know real quick just to go back on the I just remembered. Remember did you watch Arrested Development as it was on?
no.
All right. So Henry Winkler was on that show. So one time they're down at the docks and I think the one brother got his hand bit off by a seal. He's like, "Oh, let me see it." And Henry Winkler like runs towards him and he just jumps over the shark that happens to be like
Oh
caught
wow.
on the dock. And I'm like, do you see that, Kath? Do you get that? Like it was real. And the point is, it's subtle. It's so
Right, right,
subtle. But
right,
like,
right.
if they
Oh,
pointed
that's
it out,
awesome.
if they pointed it out, it wouldn't be funny. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. If they made a joke on top of the joke or something like that.
Yes.
There
Yeah.
was a Stargate reference like that where the Stargate television show, whoever did the Stargate television show, which I don't care about. However, the guy who did that worked on Puchinsky, and they were walking through a set, and Puchinsky was a who was the voice of Puchinsky?
Peter
It was
Boyle.
Peter Boyle was it was the partner. Peter Boyle was I guess in the pilot. This is on YouTube, and it was a guy who's not feel like he was almost like he wasn't he was very he looked like a Steve Gutenberg type, right? Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
guy who was the main guy. And he's been in a bunch of stuff. He might have been was he in Father of the Bride? He might be the son or whatever. Anyway, but that guy is in it and his partner is Peter Boyle. He dies and then the spirit of him goes into a dog. And the
Right.
dog which is
As one
and
does.
it's like a bulldog, right? What is it with that? There was a lot, wasn't there a lot of like bulldogs around that time? It was Turner and Hooch, and like there was just a dog situation.
There was a dog situation. You had K9 and Turner Hooch come out the same year
Yeah, that's right.
with a great. You had Jim Belushi and K9 and Tom Hanks and Turner Hooch. Tough call. Tough call.
Tough call. Both bad. Both kind of bad.
You had
Uh,
Whoopi Goldberg with the dinosaur. You had, just whatever kind of buddy cop thing you could
yeah, I
do.
feel like there was a television show too where there was like cops and then they had like a dog too. The one of the cops had a dog and it was like the
I
same type of
think
bulldog.
I think Turner and Hooch either did it get a TV show or sequels.
I think I got a TV show. And that's it. We should do that too. We should cover like bad sequels. You know, I think
Like
because I do
Splash
think
2.
Splash 2, Christmas Story 2, which is fucking bizarre. That's not
Is
great.
is that the new one or the one that takes did he do one that like takes
They
place in the
did a
summer and they all get
new
summer
one.
jobs?
Yeah, the summer
There was like
one. I never saw
Jerry
the summer
O'Connell.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. I seen like part of it.
We could
And
probably
I'm
get
like,
Jerry
what?
O'Connell. I think Jerry O'Connell does everything. So we can get the
He's
easy yeses.
apparently he's like a super nice he's like ridiculously nice. Like he's I don't know, it's crazy like how supposedly
That's
nice he
fine.
is. No, I'll take it. Like he showed up like his wife was signing at Terrificon up in Connecticut. And they're like, "Oh, you want a booth? You want anything?" He's like, "No, I'm just here to help my wife. Like, I'm just here."
Yeah.
And he's
No,
signing,
they
taking
do a cool
pictures,
thing
doing.
when they do their jobs. Their jobs they coordinate their jobs around their kids. So one of them is taking care of the kids. One of them will be
Yeah,
with them all the time. So anyway, good times. Um, uh, Graham Morrison spiraling back. Graham Morrison, he's okay with AI, so everyone's gonna be mad at him for that. Be mad.
It's
Frank
okay.
Quietly. Speaking of that, we saw that I saw the picture of this yesterday. We were at the Bad Idea table.
Yeah.
Um, is Bad Idea the best new publisher? Like they I thought they would be done in a year or two.
I thought
And
they were a terrible publisher with good quality books and people,
yeah,
but they're rounding that corner because they just must have an influx of money. They were handing
yeah,
out a preview book for Bad Planet Zero, and I'm like, I like this. It's like it was printed on a newsprint, but like a
mhm,
nice thick newsprint. And the coolest thing was they had chromium covers. And I'm like, these are real chromium covers, like
yeah,
90 straight up, like Exo Man of War, Bloodshot Zero, like X Men Age of Apocalypse. They were the secret is like the stippling in the back makes the chromium like sparkle more. It's something about it because I know there's been a couple chromium covers recently. I think both not recently. I think Walking Dead and Invincible 100 both had chromium covers,
mm,
which are cool, but they're not as cool as the 90s chromium covers.
right,
And I
right,
and I tried to get from him where he got the chromium covers from, but he's like trade secret, trade secret. I'm like, I would love a chromium cover on my book.
right. But you can't. It wasn't $15. It was $40.
It was $40 for
It
to
was
buy
forty
the chromium
dollars.
cover comic.
Right. But they did have, and that this is kind of the tough part with them is right now they're not digital. There were three hardcovers like on the table. I was like, fuck, I want all three of those hardcovers. There was three. Like one was a Lapham Lapham. I probably would have got the Lapham Lapham one. It was like All
Right.
Out Wars. I forget what that one was called, but Hero Trade, and then there was the detective, and I'm like, God damn it, like because that's what's weird about it is that they kind of just came out like there was another publisher like that kind of failed. TNA. I forget exactly who it was, but they failed, and they had an original like Jeff Lemire, Gabriel Walta one. They had a Dan McDade one, and just came and went, and they did a thing where they you could buy single issues. I want to say that there was one that was an Ennis one. I forget who it was. Ennis and Epting, I believe. And then you could buy the 5 issue pack, and it came in like an envelope or something like that, or you can buy the trade at the same time, but that failed. But yeah, Bad Idea is but I'm buying two Bad Idea books, and I am buying them because they're not digital, and I have to buy them. So I'm buying Planet Death, and
Right.
I'm buying Safe now. So
I
which came out
never
last week.
understand leaving money on the table. Like, are you
Right.
going to get more money? I mean, maybe they are because you're buying the books.
I'll buy it.
But
Correct.
I have people. But I feel like there's people who only want digital. Like they won't cross over that line. You have a bunch of paper comics, so it's not a
Yeah.
big deal for you to get more paper comics. But like,
Right,
there's
but
people
it's
who
it's
like
weird when I read so much of digital, then I sit down, I'm going to read a print comic. It's like I have to separate my time. Like I can't go back and forth to the other. Um,
I I prefer to read digitally, but I do like owning paper. But if I have to sit there and read a comic, like oh, do I have this
well,
digitally already? Can I go?
this is the same as so this was a 79 book, but this has the same cover. You felt this yesterday, right? This was the same thing as like the Bad Idea one, which was like
Yeah,
this came out in 79, and this was just like I guess like a Buck Rogers type of character, Jason. I was like, "Oh my God, this is a show find for show. For show. This is everything. This is everything I
yeah.
like."
It's funny. Somebody else had like a oh, what was your other book like? Creating Comics. That was like a '70s book,
Oh, it was
and
perfect.
it's
Yeah,
beautiful
it was
paper.
This was,
I
yeah,
think
the Illustrated Comics Workshop by Dick Giordano, Frank McLaughlin, and John Romita Sr.
yeah,
That's what the fuck, and it's like
it's so high
perfect.
quality. It's
This
so
is
high
it was
quality.
$5, but it was $5 in 1982, 1982,
Just like a
and then
what? Probably like
special
a twenty
special thanks
dollar.
to Sal Amendola, balloon lettering Todd Klein. Like so, Todd Klein took like probably like special thanks. He took a special thanks job, but this is like a How to Draw Comics the Marvel way, even more so because this goes into like this is probably better than this is more direct than How to Draw Comics the Marvel way. Like it's
It's a
really something.
if you were a comics if you wanted to be a comics creator back then, you get both of these books.
I've never
You know,
seen this. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what's so fun about. And I got this at the same booth. I got these two at the same booth. It was like I don't know. I think they were $5 each. Yeah, but that's so like that. Oh my God! Like, yeah, but again, two different time. I mean, within 3 years of each other. But this newsprint is held. Like
yeah, yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
great.
We really like that newsprint. But back to the Bad Idea stuff is the fact that they're putting out a lot of stuff. And again, to me, I'm sold Conan wise because it's Thomas Giarello doing who worked on Conan. He worked on X-Men of War. He worked on he's on Planet Death and he's working on the Safe now. So great. Very good looking booth. Very nice. The chromium, good exclusives. I don't know why Lapham wasn't there. That would have sold it for me. I probably would have had to buy that Lapham. I
Right.
don't know.
You would have lapped it up.
I would have lapped him. I would have been like, hey, here's a book you already signed for me. Like, here you go. You want to sign that again? I brought a Bart Sears book, but Bart Sears was pretty crowded all day, so I didn't get back to him. Like I had a whole stack of stuff that I brought. I got like two things signed. Like just because the shopping in Baltimore was three times as good as New York. I found
Yes.
so many things. Oh, the quotient. Did I say the quotient? Yeah, I bought. Yeah, I did. 69%
Yeah.
of the books I bought yesterday. 57 books were Conan's that I didn't have. Like
Yeah, you're getting good to a
crazy.
you're getting really good to a complete set, dude. You're getting close.
I'm 30 away from a complete set. I'm like I forget. There's a couple other ones. I'm like one or two away. Like
Right.
King
Like the
Conan.
King
I'm one
Conan.
away. Yeah, one. It's like 57. It's
And for
not
the most
great.
part, these are all between most of this collection is dollar books.
Or
That's what's
less.
amazing.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
less, or yeah, because they'll have deals, because Victory Comics up there. And it's funny. That's when we were driving down. I said, I know Victory will probably be there, and their sale was better here than it was in New York, which I thought was funny. So
Yeah.
a slightly different
I
stock, but still pretty dope.
I really like the guys at Third Eye Comics. Like I went there, I bought a couple Superman foil
Their booth
covers I
was
thought were
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, their booth was the
Cool,
wraparound booth they had was real nice.
friendly people, really
Yep,
informative. Like the one guy with the mustache, I like this guy. He's awesome.
Mr.
Like
Mustachio.
Milligan, Mr. Mustachio.
Oh,
He's
okay.
actually the lead singer to Foxy Shazam. That's who he is. The Brian got the blind bags for Battle Beast, and he
For
got
ten
the
dollars, right?
for $10. Yeah, and he
That's
got the three
cheap.
foil covers. He got a first printing of number one, which is awesome, and then he got the three foil covers of Battle Beast 2, Advanced Copy,
Hmm.
Marvel Team Up, and Invincible 19. Like he couldn't have got four better comics
Well, but
unless he got like a sketch by
Brian's like the fucking Jedi when it comes to like, because just the years of which he's looked at like comics and 9.8s and like the way he looks at it is different than the way than you and I look at it. Like I was looking around for a
yes,
Conan one like fucked up. I didn't find a Conan one
yeah.
even expensive there.
You
Not
you would
one.
buy Conan one if it had been flushed in a toilet somewhere. You'd be like, "Yep, Conan one, don't
Yeah,
care."
I got one. What did I get yesterday? I got a five. I got the first appearance of Cull, and it smells awful. I got a Creatures on the Loose.
Yeah.
This smells. I'm just gonna have to leave this in the window or
So,
something, man.
like we
But
love old
still,
style comics. We
it's five
love it, but
dollars.
that one's a little funky. It's a little off somehow.
Yeah, it's got a lot of water stains and stuff. But dude, it's Bernie Wrightson, man. What do you want me to do? Like, but yeah, the cover's kind of coming off. It's almost off, but
Yeah,
it's there. Like to me, this is like a
yeah.
loved book. This
That's
is it. I could put some tape
I
on it.
I usually have good luck. If I used to pick up a comic and Milligan would be like, "Oh, you got the best one." I'm like, I didn't look for it. I just picked it up. That was my luck.
Yeah,
But
but Brian
Milligan,
was doing it since 1994. He pulls a stack and then lays them down, and I mean, he's been doing it before it was a thing.
so it pays off when he decides to get some stuff CGC. I think
Hmm.
he's the first person to get a 9.9 Walking Dead one. So like his eye for that stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah,
You know,
but he knew how to get the battle beast. Like, and he acted like it wasn't a big deal. He's like, I know which one. I could feel it. And I'm like, I
he's
was
a
like, what, are you,
blind
Indiana
bag
Jones? He's
expert.
like, holding it. He's like, yeah, but this is weighted heavier. I was like, how do you do? What are you talking about? Like,
He's a pops guy and he gets all the mystery minis and he carries around a little electronic scale with him, because like this
oh my
one's
God,
2.4 ounces and this one's 2.48 ounces. You
that's
know,
cool, man.
it works for
That's
him.
really insane. Yeah, that's really insane. The only thing so back to the bad idea. The only thing that bothers me about this is I don't want a Frank Quietly book if Grant Morrison's not attached to it. That's kind of mean, but like, and I'm sure he's getting paid very well if Derek Cole's dad, who created John
Yeah,
Wick,
but
is writing it.
yeah,
And
but
we feel like Bad Idea has money. We feel like they have
he's not
money.
drawing it though, right? He's only doing covers and designs, I think.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
I
It
thought
didn't say
that's
who
what I
was
had read in
drawing
the
it.
past. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say.
Yeah, it's like Frank Whiteley, like
Quite
I,
frankly.
I, I like that he's been attached to he's either Grant Morrison or Mark Miller. And he goes back and forth. And I think he likes going back and forth because they're two totally different writers, even though we thought they were very similar, but they're totally not. Like as they've
Right.
grown apart, because Mark Miller almost not that he was assistant to Grant Morrison, but he attached himself to him very early on.
Mm. Right.
and it worked out for both of them. And Mark Miller, even I guess technically he wins. He wins over Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison's still a more talented writer, but Mark Miller won because he got tens of
Yeah,
millions
I
of
mean, I
dollars from
I think he
Netflix.
just, but Mark Miller is a liar. He lies. He lies right to Rob's face.
He's a
So
salesman. Yeah, he lied
yeah,
right to my. I don't know if I told. I think I told the story on the show before, but you know, in case we got a different 13 people listening, Mark Miller. We our store that Mark used to work at was close to where Dynamic Forces Dynamite Comics was headquartered. So one day they bring Mark Miller to the store because they would always bring people. And Mark Miller's talking about they're going to do a wanted movie, and Eminem called him. He's like, I didn't believe it was Eminem, but he's like, no, I'm really Eminem. You know, I'm really just a total lie. Like it never happened. And years later, he's like, I
never.
never said that. I never said Eminem. Well, you know, I just said he looks kind of, he looks like him a little bit. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You
You
told me to my
purposely
face.
modeled. Well, yeah, we should go ask JD Jones. JD Jones was at the show too. Um, yeah, we should probably just ask JD Jones that story. But like, you were told to draw him like Eminem. Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like, there's
Yes,
like no
you
doubt
were you were
you
told
were
to draw
instructed to
like
do that.
the fox like Holly Berry. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
very. And you know what?
right.
It I don't know if that rumor got around either. Like, was there ever a Holly Berry rumor? Like, she saw it. I think
I
Eminem
don't
saw the
know.
comic, or something like that was the story.
I think there's an Eminem Marvel comic, isn't there? Like one of those like
Yeah, he teams up with the
one-off
Punisher.
things.
I think it's drawn by Salvador Larroca.
Oh my God, what a nightmare. No good. Thumbs down.
He loves, dude. He loves comics. He's a pure comics fan, especially in the
Then
'90s.
he should have done Wanted.
He
Uh,
got Venom. He got the Venom with the Venom and the napkins. So I don't know.
So
It's
this is
funny,
this article here is so now I'm into some of the bleeding cool shit, which this is not
right?
even really a story because it says this, but then it doesn't really like when I see this, I'm thinking that like Batman number one is from 70 years ago, right? So like if you're doing a Batman number one, like when I saw this, I'm like, oh, they're going to relaunch what
I
action?
think it's
You know what
like,
I'm saying? And then they don't really tell you anything. We already know there's a Shadow of the Bat coming, but that's not really a relaunch. It was like 150 issues. If you do a new Shadow of the Bat number one, you're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like it's not the same type of thing. So clickbait. But I did see
yeah,
some solicits. So yeah, Spider Boy team up facsimile, but
it's great.
probably cool, but probably no foil for you. No
No
foil for
foil.
you.
They didn't make a foil for the first one. I think the first Spider Boy facsimile came out a week or two ago. I was like so disappointed. Like I love this book, but I'm not gonna buy a facsimile that's just a boring facsimile. I own the original.
Yeah,
But as far as the Malcolm books go, the two Spider Boys are my two favorites by far.
yeah.
By
Are
far.
they who who wrote Spider Boy?
Carl Kiesel wrote both of them, and the first one was drawn by Mike Wieringo, and the second one was drawn by Jose Ladron, and they
Right,
are
right.
gorgeous. They're
That
gorgeous
was the
comics.
first time. Yeah, it was the first time. There's the first one. Boom. Spider Boy
Look at that.
on
It's
hand,
great.
like on hand. Carl Kiesel co-anchor. He co-anchored with Gary Martin. That's weird. Gary Martin.
Gary Martin. He used to ink some. I think he used to ink some Gary Frank stuff too. He was good. He was a good inker, but
He's
Carl
right.
Kiesel must have been
He's a
busy,
rude
dude.
guy. He's a rude dude.
That's true.
He's
That's true.
you know he's a rude dude. Some other. Why did it take this long to get a Jar Jar cover? Like I might have to get that Jar Jar book, bro.
Dude,
Boom.
I'm curious.
Who wrote this? Guggenheim.
Oh, dude, look at that second cover. It's
Oh,
got the
I'm at
guy.
best. I'm at best actually. Yeah,
He's
no,
playing the
that's I'm at
Jedi.
best.
Yeah, they were on that. They were on
Kelleran
the
Beck.
Grogu. He helped save Grogu in the one episode of The Mandalorian or whatever. Right? He was the guy that helped save
Yeah,
Grogu. Um,
yeah,
I think I'm excited to read this comic because Jar Jar. First off, Jar Jar is super famous with people like 20 years younger than us. Kids
yeah.
love the prequel movies. They
I
love it.
wish we could find out the print run on this thing.
Do you
I have
remember
a
the Star
Jar
Wars
Jar
tales?
on card. I have a Jar Jar on card downstairs. You know, on the
Yeah,
wall.
that's hilarious.
Yep.
Do you remember after Phantom Menace, they were going to do a Jar Jar cartoon, but people hated Jar Jar so much after their Phantom Menace that they canceled the cartoon. They never made it. I was like, they should make it, but make like John Crick-Falusi before it was canceled. I want a John Crick-Falusi Jar Jar cartoon. Give me that.
Yeah, I could do it with
We
I could
did
have
get
done
a
it with
Tony Millionaire. We did get a Tony Millionaire Jar Jar story in one issue of Star Wars Tales. That
Right.
was phenomenal.
Star Wars Tales, not that I dislike it, it's I don't like the way that Marvel's doing it. They should just put out like a Star Wars tale like omnibus. They're breaking apart a bunch of the series and then putting in the Star Wars tales like kind of in pieces
Dark Horse did do
throughout.
a. I think Dark Horse did do an omnibus of that, and maybe Marvel reprinted it at first.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I'm
think.
not
I
sure.
think.
Keller and Beck, but yeah. So I think this is pretty dope. That's a good cover, a Torrin Clark cover,
Yeah.
and so that's his new garb. But yeah, just funny. It's also really is it I forget there's a few Star Wars documentaries and there's one where he talks about like almost killing himself. It was pretty fucking sad, like after like it's rough sad because and you knew it was coming because the beginning of the episode are like this talks about self-harm, blah blah blah, potential self-harm, and
Oh
you're
my
just like, oh
god.
boy. Speaking of the liar himself, Mark Millar, and even this clickbait was like, what? So we're probably going to get this Dragon Fantasy series. I went to this Kickstarter. This from this Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Nothing enlarges on this fucking Kickstarter. I can't see anything. I'm
They
not
haven't.
really sure. You know what I mean? Like John Giordano. I'm not really sure. Valerio John Giordano did what? Did the end of Jupiter's Legacy? Is that person?
Oh man.
Right,
Oh
the
yeah. I
artist.
think so. He's
So
just
you're getting
okay.
a 64-page graphic novel just to make this movie, just to basically get this movie going, I
Most likely,
guess.
yes. Yes. And you know what the worst part about these two Kickstarters Miller's done? No digital component.
Correct. Yeah.
I would have backed Psychic Sam, you know? I'm not in love with the concept, but I know it'll be a good comic. That's the Mark Miller secret, by the way.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted potentially from the Psychic Sam, but that's one issue or something.
That's the first of three, but it's still like oversized.
Yeah, but I wanted I kind of want that magazine. I
I
kind
know
of
you
want
do.
it in
Your magazine
that
box.
70s. This one guy, I told him, like there was a guy yesterday that I looked through. He had the best magazine selection ever. He had a bunch of early Mads. I took one and sent it to my dad. They had a Mad one for $225, pretty good condition too. Like it was the best magazine collection I've ever seen, like ever. And I told him that I was like, "This is the best thing." I said, and he had a section. I asked, "Can I go back and see these other ones?" And he had some like super crazy, like very expensive, like 2,000, 3,000. And
I
I was like,
love
it's
the
crazy seeing that stuff
rip-offs.
like there.
I love the rip-offs of the rip-offs. Like everyone knows Mad Crack Crazy,
Mm,
but there was like Sick and Help, and there was a. But then they made even more rare ones like Disgusting Comics. There was other Mad rip-offs that nobody ever heard of. And the
right.
horror comics, same thing. Like everyone knows Creepy and Eerie, but there was another one called just Horror, and it was like really good, really dark. Like Mark and I just have we do have a thing for like the rip off of the rip off.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I would
yeah.
love like I had this horror magazine, and like now I'd be curious to see who even worked on it. Like who's doing the rip off of because Warren already paid nothing for Creepy and Eerie. Like he paid
Right, right.
Warren hated paying people. So like what did the rip off of Warren pay? You know?
Yeah, well, Warren passed on. I didn't know this until this week when I was reading Shocker. I was reading a Conan essay by Roy Thomas, and they passed on Conan. They approached them. Robert E. Howard Estate like approached them in the '70s, and they're like, no. I was like, really? Like it was like they passed. But even Marvel almost passed on Conan, but Roy Thomas like insisted upon it. Because like what's his name wanted to get what was the Stanley had something where he didn't like Conan was lower on the list because he wanted a K on the front. And he thought that things
Uh
with an R on the end sold better, like Thor. Like he wanted like a strong letter, so he didn't like the letter C. Like that's how. But I even feel like that was something where wasn't there something about skeletons too, where he was yelling at someone. He's like, "You got to put skeletons in cover. Or
oh
skeletons will
yeah,
sell
yeah.
sell comics or something." So, again, businessman, Millar businessman. But to me, like this is just like I feel like it's just diminishing returns on his stuff. I have to go back and read Huck. Like I feel like Huck is a pure idea. I wish it was more to that. I wish MPH got lost. I feel like MPH could be a really good like Netflix
Yeah,
movie. Um,
I
if
agree.
you if it's there. Here's some sales reps. We haven't looked at that. These are the most recent trades. Kind of crazy that I don't really think about that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last run. I kind of thought that was like a flash in the pan. It was fine. It's good. I don't even know if it's very good. I think the concept's better than the actual story. But last run and two, I don't care. I'm not gonna go. That's just more. It's almost like Dark Knight 3. Dark Knight 2 is no good. 3, I couldn't finish it. Um, but I do like the compact editions. But what I thought was odd on this, and I looked to see, it doesn't really say.
Mm,
This is regular Batman Year One, just regular Batman Year One. That might be true because I think there is like a newer version that a Chip Kid cover, just a regular version. The compacts are doing great. We knew that.
yeah,
The Marvel premieres are not doing great because they're too expensive. They're not in the right. They're not. They're bigger than the compact format. It's mishandled. It's mishandled. They're doing a very good job doing this, doing the compacts. But I do like the absolutes are right there in the top. Even Absolute Wonder Woman's still in top 10. Yeah, interesting. All
yeah.
Star
That's
Superman, Birthright. So I wonder. Wade was at the show yesterday, and he was talking to he was talking to a couple people, but he was saying I kind of overheard this. He was happy the Birthright's back in the public consciousness. He's like I feel like it was never. He felt like it was never really. Uh, it was like not necessarily panned, but it didn't really have the impact that we thought it was going to have when it came out. And that's
right.
most of the Superman movie is pulled from that. A
It's
lot of
it's
a lot.
probably it probably would have helped Mark Waid if he could have written Superman right after Birthright came out, so he could implement some of his early ideas into an ongoing
Yeah,
story.
right,
That
right,
would have
right.
probably sealed that as a better book. Like Jeff Johns. That's the other problem. See, here's the problem with Birthright. Within a year or two prior, you just had Jeff Loeb kind of merge the Silver Age with the Man of Steel stuff, and he had just kind of created a new origin of Superman.
Mhm.
And Birthright comes out a year or two later, and people are like, "Well, we just got this, so we kind of don't care, but it's good. We like
Right.
Lino Yu. It's a good story." Then 2 years after that, Jeff Johns does it again within his Superman run, and right
Y2K.
away, well, I think Birthright came out after Y2K.
Right.
That
That was
that's
the first one.
that was the Jeff Loeb stuff. Jeff
Yeah, yeah.
Loeb did the Silver Age stuff there. Then Mark Waid, and then like I said, Jeff John comes in. He does right away. He does the story with Richard Donner, and you're back on Krypton, and it's like
Mhm.
a merging of the '70s movie. And then he does Secret Origin, which redoes the whole thing all over again. But then within 2 years, you get New 52. So you got like they did Superman's origin like 4 times within like 10 years,
Yeah. Right.
and you hadn't gotten anything from Man of Steel. From Man of Steel until Jeff Loeb's run, nothing had changed.
Right, right, right.
So
It's
that's
better.
why Birthright. That's why Birthright doesn't shine. It's not that it's
Right.
not good. It's just that it's
Yeah.
bad timing.
It's nice. It's nice on its own. I really like it, but you're right. It didn't go into if it went into and had impact inside of like actual continuity, then that would have worked. But no
Yeah,
dice. No dice. But I do like that year one's kind of floating in there,
yeah.
That's kind of just floating in
Nobody's
there.
even Nobody's even talking about it, but it's still like selling.
Don't talk about it. And then the Long Halloween is in there, just
Of
as like
course.
of just an evergreen. That's still going, still going. Jeff Loeb's still out there. He was
Yeah, we
not
saw
that.
him. I,
Yeah,
I
he
didn't get a
wasn't
chance to
that
talk to
busy.
him. No, no, he had just done New York, and I just seen him briefly. He had
Everybody
come
already
up
saw
to
him. I think that's
yeah,
the problem with this show, and this show is going to actually beat New York next year. And they have a couple extra. They have some slightly better guests next year. And Jason Aaron's next year.
and,
Jurgens
and by beat, you mean it's going to come out first. Like we're going to have
early.
this show at the end
Yeah.
of September, and New York will be 3 weeks later. Because following New York by a week was a bad move. You could tell the attendance was down.
There's too many. The issue is, and I put my comic up on my story. I put my Jason Monarch up, and they reposted it. On their story on Baltimore Comicon story.
Oh, cool.
There's Here's the thing. There was a good amount of cosplayers there, right? Are they buying anything? You ever see them with bags? You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Like
good question.
it's just an exhibition. I get it. I understand it. I think it's cool. But like, did you see the question? There was one guy who was the question.
Oh
That
no,
was
I
pretty
saw. I missed
good.
that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But it was Charlton question. It was a bright blue jacket. So that I thought was pretty cool. His fedora was a little dark. It was a darker blue, but it doesn't matter. But the fact he just did like, I'm going to do bright blue question, not like not Dennis Cohen question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like '90s question or new question. You know, it
Right.
wouldn't have been bad to see a new question, to see Montoya question. That would have been good too. I think. Um, just in general, but like seemed to be a lot of cosplay. But you're probably right. There wasn't enough people. I think my best interaction. Let's go. We'll kind of close the show out with best interaction yesterday. I think my best interaction was like Sean Chen, because at his table, it was the first book is free. Well, I wanted to bring like one book kind of for most people, so I brought my Savage Sword of
Yeah.
Conan, to which he did a Cole story, and the guy next to him, which I don't know if it was his handler or another artist friend or whatever, he's like, I didn't know you did this. And he's like, yeah, they called me. He's like, I would like to do more. Like, let's see. Like, it made me look up things, and I was saying like, well, you already did Conan. You already did an armored, because his call was like an armored call. It was an Atlantis call. He's like, well,
Right.
I researched this in Atlantis, and he was 100 years before Conan. I didn't know that, and he did a lot of work on it. Like he really worked on it, and I was like, oh man, that's awesome. And he's like, yeah, I hope they call me again. I'm like, me too. Like it looked great, and I asked him to sign like the front cover and then the actual start of the book. So, because you said that to me too, like you kind of the next con experience for the next 10 years plus is going to be kind of interesting, because all I'm doing is kind of just bring Conan. Hey, you worked on Conan here. Ron Wilson
Yeah.
was kind of busy too. I didn't get to him, and I have a What If that he did and a Savage Sword that he did, but he's kind of around. Ron Wilson's kind of around. But what was your best con experience? I think I already know it.
Well, it's two. It's Jason Burrows, who's an artist for mostly known for Avatar, and
Mm,
he had a lot of really good interactions with Alan Moore, which always fascinates me. His own history is really cool. Just finding out stories, hanging out with him, hanging out with Alan Moore was awesome. And he's a guy that's been around for a long time.
mm.
So, but right now he's working with Garth Ennis on the Babs book for Ahoy, which is like kind of a take on Red Sonja. That was
Right,
really
right,
good.
right.
I really
Oh, I
liked
never
that
read that.
interaction. Really friendly guy. Just yeah, we probably talked for like a good half an hour just about life. I really liked him. And my Jim Rugg interaction is awesome. Jim Rugg's super nice guy. One of the nicest guys in comics.
Oh yeah,
And he's
yeah.
excited about my friend Brian and I. We're working on a book right now, and like we were handing out these foil cards. I'll show one now. Foil people, this is awesome. I love it. That's right. You got yours.
This is the
I
first
printed up two
first
of
print.
these. First,
I got the
yeah, the
first print. I have
first
second
prints
print too.
from first prints from an American printer, and they're pretty good. These I got from a Chinese printer, which I end up liking better, and they were like a lot cheaper, and I
Mm.
didn't get tariffed on it, so that's important. So,
No tariffs. No tariffs for you.
so
Slow
anyway,
motion for me.
we'll be giving these out in the future. If you ever see us, hit us up, and you will get one. And we'll talk
Uh,
about more about our comic when that happens. But Jim Rugg, super into it, and he's real into like fanzines that Brian and I did 20 years ago. He's like, "You did a Youngblood fanzine?" I'm like, "Yeah, we actually got.
oh yeah, I don't have
I
that.
think we distribute it. We think we distribute like 1,000 of them over the years. Just like we
Mm.
just kept putting them up. So they're a lot of fun.
That was what the
But
awesome.
we call that the Youngblood bootleg edition,
Right, right,
and
right.
it's just a black and white.
But that was awesome timing, right? That was like post awesome army
Yes, yeah.
stuff.
When awesome kind of folded, I was on a Yahoo group called the Awesome Army Online, and we'd like, hey, let's do a fanzine. And Brian and I did stories in our first four of Alan Moore's version of Youngblood, and that's really like, even though we talked about working together, that's the first time we actually did a comic story together. And that was like, I think the first one was like 1999. So at one point, years later, I'm like, hey, let's collect those four stories into like a book we can hand out for free, and then we'll do a new story. And then we added a bunch of stuff. We did like almost like a Marvel Universe who's who of like who the characters are in the
Mhm.
book, just
Yeah, I
by
like
using
that. That was
pickup
cool.
artwork. It was fun. It's a lot of fun. That's the first time I got to fully write. Like I had written stories in the past, and Brian had drawn his own comics. They're awesome. I can't wait to reprint them. He's got a book called SWAT Team Exodus. It's so 90s, it's ridiculous because he was literally a 16-year old kid doing a comic. Like
Right, right, right,
he did way more than any of us did. And
right,
he had the talent. So, but we didn't use that talent. He did
right,
SWAT
right,
Team
right,
Exodus. We have a ton of creations that we'll probably never get to. But the Maniacs book that we're working on now, we're really focused in on it.
right, right, right.
So,
Yeah.
so we're
Awestruck
gonna do that.
Comics, Awestruck Comics printing.
That's right. The
It'll be
Awestruck Comics
printed.
podcast. That name is our brand also for our comic company.
Yeah,
Hashtag trademark LLC whatever all
correct.
that garbage.
Hashtag at .gov.
At .gov.
Yeah,
Yes. At .gov.org. .pornhub. That's where you can get our comics.
that's right. Pornhub. Um, all right, everyone. Well, let's everyone stay tuned. I got a bunch of inventory episodes that I got to get out. We have a lost news episode I will get out this week, I promise. That we lost kind of the audio syncing, and I just discouraged me out that I wanted to throw my computer out the window, and I didn't, thankfully. Um, but yeah, and I got a couple other things cooking. We'll probably have to do like a monthly review roundup just because of
Yes.
my accelerated work schedule now, that the marketplace is completely insane. I just can't seem to get to the books. I get to a book. I get to Conan, basically. That's the book. That's the main. That's the
Yeah.
main. And Battle Beast, which is Conan in space.
That
So
is. It is Conan. It's Lion Conan in space. It's great.
it's Conan in space, but it's Death Wish Conan. It's Death Wish He-Man Conan, because it's like he looks like a He-Man character basically, right? But
Right.
he wants to die all the time. Like he talks about. He's like, yes, give me a glorious death. Like it's always that concept, which I love. It's great, and he's so it's so visceral. I wonder. I mean, I wonder how much direction. Uh, I wonder what the distribution is. I'd like to see. I would like to see a Battle Beast script, because the last issue was 8 or 9 pages of just like blood and guts and him biting
You know,
things and pulling things apart.
you've seen Kirkman outlines, right? He basically goes pages 1 through 20, and he says what happens on each page, and he uses that for himself for Walking Dead, which he'll go write a full script off of that. But when
Mm,
he did Infinite with Liefeld, he just gave him that page, and then Liefeld drew it. So he
right, right,
probably
right.
does, because Otley, who can write,
Hmm.
he's definitely written stuff in the past. He probably's like, here's what I think we should do. And Otley's like, all right, I'll draw it. And then Kirkman's he probably has a couple scenes that are particular, like, hey Ryan, I think we should do it like this. Like I'm sure he's
Right,
got particular scenes, and I'm sure he's got scenes where he's like hands off, be like, Ryan, give me your best.
right, right, right. Like I like that. We all know that like Donny Cates unfortunately was in an accident, and couldn't finish his Hulk run, so Otley basically just finished it. And he
Yeah.
just it's out there, and it's wacky, and I'm like, oh, I love it. It's like a pre-battle beast. I'm like, yeah, cool. It's in space, like it's like
There's
it,
there's
it's
other there's
out
a
there.
Hulk planet. They create this rock game where they throw rocks from the planet surface to hit asteroids
Right.
in space. Like this is insane.
Yeah, 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 but that's what I want. Like that's so I wonder how many. And listen, give them. Yeah, Otley's going to be there next year. That's right.
Yeah.
At Baltimore. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for future cons and this. I mean, this last 2 weekends were amazingly successful as far as that. And then yeah, and I guess there is I'll post it here. Post it in. But I haven't put it up yet, but I have a frame for it, and we're just going to swap one of these posters out. But I did get a Steve McNiven sketch that he had on Instagram, and he colored it. He did a Conan sketch on Instagram like 3 years ago, because I looked it up. I looked up the art recently. I put Steve
Does
McNiven
it
Conan.
does it does it look like Barry Windsor Smith?
Yeah, but it sort of, but it's still a bit more McNiven than most. But he was super super nice, and then he's working on a project. Couldn't tell me. We talked to a lot of people. They couldn't tell us what they're doing.
Oh, do you,
A
do you want
lot
to
of
know what
people.
do you want to know what he's working on? Because I had an
Batman.
interaction with it's Batman. It's because I don't know if did I say it on the show last week.
I think so. Yeah,
All right, I'll say it again because different people.
but
Yeah,
who
so
but who
McNiven
said
comes up. McNiven. I
who's
was
working
I was
on?
I was
Oh,
talking.
he
Oh,
said
I
it
don't know
was.
who's. Oh yeah, he came up to the person I was talking to, and they're having a conversation, and they love each other. It's so amazing, like people who love. Um, and the guy is like, "Oh, what are you working on?" He's like, I can't tell you." And the other McNiven's like, "I can't tell you," And the other guy's like, "Batman." He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Wink. I'm like, "All right." He's working,
There you
and,
go.
and what else would he do? Like that's where the money is at DC. Like Jorge Jimenez doesn't seem to ever want to leave Batman because that's where the money is. You and I want a
Uh,
Jorge Jimenez Superman. We want that bad. We've seen it, and we're like, this guy can draw Superman.
yeah, I want to do an evolution of where Jimenez on Batman, because there's 4 Batman so far he's done. There's four
Yeah,
different incarnations of Batman. That it's the same. It's Batman, but like I think that's good. Same thing with Mora. Mora's great on Batman too. Mora's future Batman, future state Batman was excellent. and that
Yeah, it's
the
Batman.
detective
It's
to.
hard. It's hard to mess up Batman. I really feel like as an artist, you got to really suck to not be able to get Batman down because every version works.
Well, I think Batman Wolverine.
From
I think that's the thing is I think that the character designs are so strong and it all kind of it maybe it just goes to a cowl or the shape, the head shape,
yeah,
or the mask. You know what I mean? Like that was where I always started with Wolverine. It was just a Wolverine mask. You know, it was just
mhm.
like like the horns and stuff. I'm happy that I think that the next wave of the X-Men reboot, and whatever it's called, the Images of Tomorrow, whatever the hell it is. We get Brown costume for a bit. Give me a couple
uh,
years of Brown.
maybe go back and forth.
Brown.
All right, Mark. What else you got?
What
Anything
Brown
else
can
before I
do for
go?
you. No, that's
Oh
it. You
my
gotta go to
God,
your brothers. You gotta go.
gotta go to my brothers. So
Big trouble.
big trouble. Hey
Guy's
man,
gonna yell. Guy's gonna
everyone,
yell at me more
everyone, have a good
more than
week.
usual.
Check out our Instagram. Check out the Twitters. I'm still doing a Youngblood page a day. Doing about to do a bunch of unpublished stuff. I just published 2 pages. I just published 2 covers for Youngblood versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The book never came out, but we got 2 promotional ads for it. And Todd Nauck had told me the first issue's penciled.
Oh my
First issue's
god.
penciled. I know. He's like, yeah, I gave it to the anchors. I think Stucker and Norm Ratman, and then I don't know if I ever got him back. He goes, I would love to do an ash can of that or like an art book. I'm like, you should. Rob Liefeld should recolor it and be like, it's a Youngblood versus the Extreme Action Sentai Blood Guard. That was my team for him. Go Sentai Blood Guard.
Yeah, you got a trademark Rob Liefeld, trademark Rob
Trademark Rob
Messick.
Liefeld. Rob Messick, Rob Liefeld. I'll give it to him. He can have it. Gratis.
No, you got it.
Blood Guard. Sentai Blood Guard. Extreme
Sentai.
Action Sentai Blood Guard.
It's getting
That's a
out
good
there.
name. All right.
Published by
Somebody
Arrows
else got to do
Comics.
it.
All right, everyone. So have a great week. We'll see y'all soon.